the divine, integrating deity worship into our everyday life. A very, very interesting topic indeed. And I now will hand you over to Her Grace Vishakha Saki Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna. Well, thank you, all the organizers of this. It was actually very unexpected, a bit unexpected. They first told me that I'm giving class, then told me what I'm doing. Actually, it's an honor to be here after 5 years here at the Radha Radhanath Mandir. I remember when we were children, there was a big glory about this temple being built by Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj. At that time, we were in Moscow and we were taking care of him. And he was a new guru, new sannyasi. Prabhu Vishnu Maharaj brought him there, and he told my parents, the way you take care of me, you take care of my godbrother. So it was Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj, and he was telling us about the beautiful temple, the grand, beautiful temple they were building here at the Radha Radhanath hill. We saw the beautiful pictures, and I remember when they were collecting money. And when later on, there was no internet, we were able to see pictures in the magazines. And so many devotees, my friends, were here also. They were painting or they were doing something during the construction. Rasikananda and Sachi Prema. And I remember when the Delhi temple, they have this beautiful parikrama, and they have the deities from all around the world. And I would walk around that parikrama, and I thought, oh, one day I'll visit all of these deities. If the people are thinking, I'll go to South Africa and I'll see this and this, I'll go to Paris and I'll see this and this, to me it was, I will go there and I will see the deities, I will meet the deities, Prabhupada's deities. And where does this feeling come from? Because for us, traveling means we see places. Traveling means that we will take pictures of ourselves and we'll show on Instagram and Facebook, see where I was. But to me, from my childhood, it was meeting Krishna. We would have the book Krishna Art, right? Remember the Krishna Art? And then the book came the darshan from all around the world. So now if we go back, I'm sure all of us, we watched Abhay Charan, the movie Bhakti Charu Maharaj made. And one of the beginning videos were about Srila Prabhupada growing up and how his father was raising him. And I remember we watched it. It was a very special thing how the father is waking up. Gaur Mohan Dey is waking up and he goes to the temple room. He does the arti, and a little Abhay Charan, he gets up and he watches his father doing it. And then he organized the small Radha Yatra. And then here we are. 50 years later, we're celebrating Prabhupada being here. And today, our guide was telling us that Prabhupada wanted, in South Africa, the temple to be built and Radha Yatra to be organized. And to Shrutikirti Prabhu, my husband, he said, I didn't do anything what I didn't learn from my father is that there is only one thing I did different, new, translating the books. The rest of the things came from his father. So that means the samskara of deity worshipping, of the kirtan, Radha Yatra, of just the devotional practices, all came from his father. So we owe everything to Gaur Mohande for teaching Srila Prabhupada everything. To me, it was the same way. It was my parents raising me in the KGB USSR. And we didn't have a YouTube, we didn't have an Instagram. We had only Prabhupada's books. And it wasn't that we could have a sanghas, temples like this. It was just my mother, who was an English and history teacher. She could read Prabhupada's books in English, and she was trying to make her children devotees. So she was trying to integrate whatever she read into our lives. We didn't know what deities are, how to worship them, what to do. But she was teaching whatever she could read. And I think it was Pancharatmika she had, or something about deity worship. So she taught my brother and I about the importance of deity worship. And trust me, when you don't know what the deity is, when you can't even imagine of having a deity in your life, you are becoming desperate to learn. And in order to make us to chant, she would say, Shrimati Radharani, she lost Krishna, right? In the forest, the gopis, they became little proud that Krishna was with them, and Krishna ran away from them. And she said, help Radharani to find Krishna. And we were like, how are we going to find, 3, 4-year-old kids? They are thinking Radharani lost Krishna, we got to find him. She says, you have to chant your round so sincerely, that Krishna will hear it, and he will come, and Radharani and Krishna will meet. And she said, and from the tears that Radharani is shedding for Krishna, the little pearls will appear. And when you will find Krishna for Shrimati Radharani, she'll be so pleased for you that she will give you those pearls to play with. Now, 30 plus years later, this little girl, she believed in that so much that right now in ISKCON Vrindavan at Krishna Balaram Mandir, I'm playing with Shrimati Radharani's pearls. It wasn't about something special about me or my parents. It was about that my parents wanted us to be devotees. Now, how are we going to be devotees when we're already grown-ups? For children, it's easy to imagine Krishna. For children, it's easy to imagine taking care of Krishna, right? We all are playing dolls, always, right? All of the girls are playing dolls. But what we do with the grown-ups, right? You all came from the Indian backgrounds, and for you, you always knew. You do arati to the different forms of demigods. Probably there was a Vishnu and Krishna. But why? Because it's I give you, you give me. Okay? Jai Jagadisha Hare, give my son a good wife. Jai Jagadisha Hare, give my wife, give my daughter a good husband. Get them a job. Send them to America, right? But for us, it's very different. See, if we actually think about the goal of going back to Godhead, we have to know who we're going to be serving there. And Srila Prabhupada gave their forms the way they are. We don't have to imagine God. My husband was saying that as a Catholic boy, Italian Catholic boy, he was growing up, they were saying God, but nobody was saying how he looks. And they were just saying he's just sitting on the clouds and he's just judging and punishing and blessing people. But for us, Prabhupada gave a perfect explanation of who is God, how he looks. And obviously God looks very pretty for us, right? All attractive, his first quality, all attractive. So when we think of going back to Godhead, we don't understand that feeling, oh, we're going to go back home. Does any of you think about it? How it's going to be, where we're going to go? Like for real. Like for us, for children, Hare Krishna children, imagining that was very easy. You just look at the pictures Prabhupada showed in a Krishna book, and we were like, okay, we're going to go there. So to my head, it's very clear. We're going to a very pretty place. They're coward boys, coward girls. I'm going to be one of those. I decided that I'm going to be each of those. I'm going to be coward boy and a coward girl. So, we want to cover everything. But actually, the main thing for us, it's as a grown-ups, it's an understanding of the clear goal. And a deity worship is actually that path of clear goal. Where are we going? And we're going to go back to Godhead, and we're going to meet our respectful gopis who are in charge of the services that we're going to do. And those gopis, maybe they're going to be the ones that are the Ashtasakis, or maybe the Ashtasaki is in charge of that gopi that is doing the service that she's going to offer to the Lord. So for us, our guru is Srila Prabhupada, right? He is our guide. So when we go back to Godhead, he's going to meet us there, and he's going to tell us what is our service, and we will be doing that service under his guidance. So if I understand it right, by doing deity worshipping, we're preparing ourselves to the understanding where we're going and what we're going to be doing. Actually, it's not only Vigraha, the deity, it's the holy name, which is available to anyone. In the prisons, when Armenian devotees were put in the prisons, Russian Armenian devotees were put in the prisons for chanting Hare Krishna in the communistic USSR, they were worshipping Krishna in his holy name, because nobody can take that deity away from you. And that's a book distribution, Srila Prabhupada's books, Krishna Bhagavat, and the Archa Vigraha. So all of them are Krishna. The holy name, the book, and the Archa Vigraha. So the Kirtan devotees, they worship Krishna through the holy name. The book distributors, they're giving Krishna. And the pujaris and the assistants are dressing Krishna so everyone can see Krishna's form. And in Nectar of Devotion, Krishna's first quality is the all-attractive. The holy name is very attractive, the book is attractive, but then we need to understand and imagine who is that person. And that's why through Srila Prabhupada, Krishna appeared. Now, the deity worshipping is like playing with the fire. Because the holy name can be forgiving, the book would be forgiving, but the deities are not forgiving. And especially Radha Krishna deities. And that's why Prabhupada was very careful when he was installing Radha Krishna deities. Gauritai are very forgiving. They're Kali Yuga Pavana. But Radha Krishna, they're not. Prabhupada even wanted that there would be happy dolls to be sold along with the books. And then he said the incense would be there. And then you offer the incense. When you sell those happy dolls, you say you offer incense and you tell Namaha. And that's it. He wanted everyone including karmis, to have Gaur-Nitai deities. But why not Radha Krishna deities? Because it's a whole different mood. In Gaur-Nitai there is Radha Krishna and Krishna Balaram. But Radha Krishna, it's a very different mood. And that's why Prabhupada wanted us not to worship Radha Krishna as Radha Krishna. He wanted us to worship them as Lakshmi Narayana. Because in Lakshmi Narayana, they're the Aishwarya mode, the king and the queen. So then, when we are not showing them familiarities, we worship them with a reverence, then we will actually commit less offenses. So, I speak from the experience. You should know that, living in Vrindavan, I think I've saw a lot. Since you have a Radha Krishna deities, I will tell you about Radha Krishna deities. We do have people that suddenly from just neophytes, they're thinking that they're already on a Raganuga Bhakti, and the Krishna is already directly talking to them, and they already know what to do. No more any more rules and regulations, nothing. We just, me and Radha Krishna. We know. But this is not what Prabhupada wanted. Prabhupada wanted us to have that discipline he gave us. He gave that discipline so we will grow into our transcendental position of the servant of the Lord. From the enjoyer into a submissive servant. So the pujari means a servant. Let's bring the example of. Okay, we watched a lot of period movies, and in those period movies there were the master and the mistress of the house. And they would have a big, beautiful house and a palace, and they would have servants, right? The Maharani would have her servants. And there was a head servant, and there were many, many, many small servants. You couldn't pass through the door of the queen, the Maharani, because the main servant would be there. And that's the pujari, the head pujari. And then there were other servants, the cooks, the ones who prepared the jewelry, who made the clothes. All of them were instructed by the head servant. And she was usually the close friend of the queen. The cook or the dressmaker or the jewelry maker couldn't just walk in and just plop everything they made, say, I made it for you, you have to accept it. No, everything was instructed. It should be made like this, it should taste like this, the dress should look like this, the crown should look like this, the jewelry should be matching like this. You couldn't just become a head pujari, just walking in deciding, all right, well, I didn't like how she's dressed, let me spruce it up. I'll give you an idea how she should look. That wouldn't happen. So that head pujari for entire ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes I was thinking how to convince the people that the deity worshipping in ISKCON is so perfect and bona fide that we don't have to look at anywhere else. Sometimes when people go to Vrindavan, they see, well, in this temple, in Vrindavan, they do this. And this Babaji at Radhakund told me that Radharani should be like this. And this Goswami at this temple said, no, actually Radharani or Krishna should be worshipped like this. So let's bring that in our temples and we'll show them that those pujaris didn't know what it is and we know better. Because we're associated with someone outside of ISKCON. See, If we have that trust into Srila Prabhupada, we would understand that the person from Goloka did see Krishna, did serve Krishna, does know how Radharani looks, does know what she wears. And if we just trust it, she will accept our service. But if we think that we know better and we try to get through the door and put whatever we decide that she should be wearing, she might patiently and tolerantly just accept it. But then she's going to tell her servant why this have happened. Then that servant is going to come to the gopi in charge of you and ask, why did that person decide that they have audacity to come and do such and such things? So now we would come up to one thing. They say, well, that's the bhava. Well, how do we know you have the bhava? So you think we jump over Srila Prabhupada's head and we know better, so suddenly out of nowhere, after 8,400,000 lifetimes and after so many samskaras that we have of the past, that suddenly we just like got purified within a second and we are already on the platform of bhava. You get the point? You just cannot. You cannot maneuver. You cannot fake it. We cannot fake our relationship with Krishna. So that's why the deity worship is there. That's why the rules and the regulations Prabhupada gave are there. He gave that example. People were asking Prabhupada about Raganuga Bhakti and your relationship with Krishna. He gave that example of a 5-year-old girl who wants to become a mother. And she wants to have a child. And she wants to have a baby now. And they're saying, well, you will grow up, you will get married, then you will have a child. And that 5-year-old throws a tantrum saying, no, I want it now. That's not possible. So similarly, we cannot understand the deities. We cannot jump it unless we go through that process of bhakti. The sadhana, the chanting, the book, reading of Srila Prabhupada's book, the studying them, learning about deity worship according to the rules and regulations Prabhupada gave. You know, nowadays people are like, yeah, but it was 50 years ago. Prabhupada didn't give whatever there was no 400 million years ago. He gave ultimate truth. So the deity worship according to Srila Prabhupada, book distribution according to Srila Prabhupada, kirtan according to Srila Prabhupada, it's going to bring you to that platform of bhava. And then it's not, actually, we say the spontaneous love. When you are actually on that platform, there is no whimsical spontaneous. You know what it is? You are becoming your true, real self. And that true, real self that you used to be in a connection with Krishna already knows what should be done. You're not going to do something that is not according to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. You're not going to surprise anyone. Look how special I am. I can dress deities my way. You will actually dress them their way. So integrating the deity worship into our life, it starts with a sadhana and into taking a guidance of the head pujari. Srila Prabhupada said that the biggest danger in our society that can destroy our society is if we make changes in the deity worshipping. So that means 50 years ago, Prabhupada gave us deity worshipping standards. And then you go to Vrindavan and you start associating outside of ISKCON and suddenly you're hearing, oh no, you Iskonites are not doing it right. You should have been doing this way. Prabhupada gave you only ABC. We are giving you XYZ. And you come in, you're like all confused. No. The point is, Krishna came to us through Srila Prabhupada. And through Srila Prabhupada, he said, I want devotees within ISKCON to worship me like this. So all of you here, I hear that the deity worshipping in this temple is on a very high platform. And I myself am actually here 5 years later. If before I was just meeting those deities and thinking, wow, so beautiful, finally I met you. Right now I'm thinking, I would like to see how they are worshipping you. What are the special details that the devotees here are following? How are the rules and regulations? How is the cleanliness? How is the kitchen? How are the jewelries being kept? Because honestly saying, I take a darshan from many temples, but when a darshan of Radha Radhanath comes, it's impeccable. So the credit goes to the head pujari, temple president, and the team of all the devotees who are coming and very sincerely and submissively assisting them. So what is the difference between the deity worship at home and the deity worship at the temple? Srila Prabhupada didn't want us to have deities at home. He wanted us to assist the deities at the temple. I understand that in an Indian household, it's a normal thing to have a deity. Even we have a deities at home. We have Shalagram Shilas and Govardhan Shilas and my childhood deities. But since we became involved in the deity worship in Krishna Balaram Mandir, for us it's a bare minimum. Bathe, dress, tulsi, fruits, done, run to the temple. It should be not more than half an hour. Deity worship at the temple is the Archa Vigraha that was invited. And he's here. He's here to accept the love of his entire family. Each of you are his family members. So when Krishna was coming back from herding the cows, Krishna Balaram, the entire Nandagram was preparing all day the food, decorations, how they're going to be sitting. There is a beautiful picture how Nanda and Yashoda are receiving Krishna Balaram, how they're feeding them, what is the beautiful time they're having. It wasn't just Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda doing, it was the entire Vrindavan. So it's the same way. You are participating, you are assisting Nanda, Yashoda, Kirtida, Mother Rohini, you are assisting all of them to take care of Radha, Krishna, Gaurnitai, Govardhan Lala. It's not just the job of couple of pujaris, it's all of you. And honestly saying, the assistants are actually even more blissful than the organizers because you are just concentrated on that one service. Whatever it is, the flowers, the cooking. The head of a head pujari is supposed to be like a 100-headed Brahma because he's supposed to think of every and each aspect. And that head is answering in front of Srila Prabhupada. If something goes wrong with the deity worship, like if you made a mistake in your service, it's not that 100% you're going to be taking the reaction for that. 50% of that goes on the head pujari. There is one wonderful temple in Europe, and they have a rule that if the devotee made a mistake, the head pujari is supposed to fast that day. Not the head pujari who committed that offense to the deities. It's the devotee under that head pujari. The devotee also supposed to fast. But now imagine how many devotees the head pujari is responsible for. So would you like the head pujari to starve? Because it's such an interesting rule created for that temple, because it's making you understand that not everything is just forgivable. That's why the rules and regulations are there. Prabhupada gave everything. What is number one? Cleanliness. Brahman means clean. Anything about deity worship means clean. Spotlessly clean. Prabhupada calls it summit clean. Summit means the top of the mountain, Everest mountain. You can't even get there. So deity worship means summit clean. And it's not only on the altar. It means the closets, means the kitchen, means the temple, means around the temple. Everything means you come to the temple all dressed nicely, clean, hairs tied back, all the ladies. Men have to be cleanly shaven. Everything means clean. Because with the cleanliness comes the different consciousness. Because when you are untidy, the untidiness in here too. Next is a punctuality. Why? Krishna eats at a certain time. He gets up at a certain time. Everyone have children right here. Kids are like, once he gets up, he wants to put the food in the mouth. There is no wait, I'll do this, I'll do that. Krishna is like that too. He gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's hungry. So pujari have to be there way before to wake him up, to bring the mangala sweets, to make the achaman, to prepare him to see the deities at 4 o'clock in the morning, to check on his hair, to see if the jewelries from the last night when the pujari was dressing didn't get untidy, because stuff happens. Mangalarti, 4:30 have to be blown kanchal. 5:30 Krishna have to start dressing and undressing. 7 o'clock he's coming to show himself. You're also coming to show yourself to him. It all starts from you. Not even everyone right now here are doing the deity worship. And you are thinking, well, I don't have a deities, I am not in a part of the deity worship, so it's not a big deal. But no, you are. Because Krishna dressed for you, and you come to see him, you're all dressed. I always give that example. If you were invited to go to the palace of the Queen in England, just saying that because, it's just the most popular thing to say, would you be dressed in your, slacks? No, you would be dressed very nicely. Otherwise, they wouldn't even let you in. So when we go to see the Queen of the universe, we have to do the same thing. We have to present ourselves nicely, but somehow we have this, I'm going to temple, let me put the worst clothes on. I'm supposed to be humble, right? Yeah, if you were actually really humble, you would dress accordingly, and you wouldn't think that I am beautiful. You would say, everything Krishna have given me should be beautiful, and I have to offer it to him. Everything, all the consciousness about deity starts with yourself. We mark our body with the tilak because we say, my body is the temple of the Lord. Women have to be dressed with the jewelries because according to Vedic society, that's how they presented themselves. If the women are not dressed nicely, that means her husband doesn't look after her nicely. That's true. Prabhupada even said that husband should give a wife bangles. Why? Because that's how Krishna wants to see you. So if we start neglecting the temple, then we neglect this temple. So we prepare the consciousness for the deities, we come appear in front of deities clean, nice, tidy, and then the deity worshipping starts. We do all the mantras, we do achamans, we chant. We ask Krishna to help us to be in the mood of a servant. So we don't come up with our whimsical sahaji ideas. Well, I think Krishna should be this way. So we follow all the rules and regulations Prabhupada gave. We pray to the Guru, right? Guru is like the gopi in the spiritual world. What am I doing? Please guide me. I saw how the devotees in that temple were preparing sandesh for the deities the next day. It was such a beautiful, joyful, it wasn't, I'm doing my chores, I'm supposed to, it's my service. It was actually a joy. I'm preparing this because tomorrow Radha Krishna, Radha Shyam are going to be accepting my love. It wasn't let me make the sandesh that I decided to make. No, they followed the rules and regulations, they followed the recipe. So what are the rules and regulations for the deity worship? It's the recipe for the success. We want to make a cake. So we follow 1 cup sugar, 1 cup this, half a cup of butter, and we don't put the cheap oil, we put the butter because it will taste different. 350 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever it is. So we follow that success, and then when the cake comes out, it's all risen and fluffy and spongy. That's what it is, worshipping the deity according to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So now I will tell you, I see a result of when you worship the deity 40, 30, 20 years and you didn't follow something in that recipe. You know what that does give you? I know it all. You can't tell me anything. I've been here for 20 years. Who are you to tell me what to do? You see, me, Radha, Krishna, we're good. Got my point? The cake flopped. And we keep telling listen, you just needed to add less water. It's too liquid. Well, I've been baking that floppy cake for 20 years. I'm okay. I've been offering that floppy cakes to Krishna for 20 years. I'm okay. Then 20 years later, Krishna is sending you and saying, please can you tell him to stop offering me that sloppy, floppy cake. So deity worshipping is that very special formula. Scientific formula. What we were hearing today, Prabhupada was saying here in South Africa that Krishna consciousness is a science. It's for everyone, for any color, any gender, anyone. So integrating deity worshipping means following the science. The cookbook is there. Each of you can make exactly same cake and offer it to the lordships. Each of you can be that perfect ingredient in the worshipping of the deities. Simple, right? So the Prabhupada standards are actually very simple. They're not complicated, but the complication comes from us. They're too simple, we think. Let's complicate it. Somewhere in some other temples, they're complicated. Why it's too simple? Because that's how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants us to be. He wants us to concentrate on the certain things. The other day, it was the seminar for the head pujaris all around the world, and Mother Malati was talking. And in some temple, they made a very shiny, shiny dress for the deities. And when they opened the dress, they thought Prabhupada is going to say, what is this sparkly, shiny dress? She said he loved it so much. Because in spiritual world, everything is scintillating, sparkly, beautiful, very sparkly. And that was the word, scintillating. So maybe we think the deities should look simple because it's appealing to us, because we're trying to bring deities down to our level so we relate to them instead of us going up to their level to relate to ourselves with them. Another thing Mother Malati said, she said Prabhupada personally told her that the garlands of the deities should never be attached to each other because it word he used, inhibits them from dancing. She said the word inhibit. I don't even know that word. I never used that. Prabhupada, she said, scintillating, inhibit. Those words, he used such a beautiful words when he was expressing how the deities are. Make sense? So imagine, he knows exactly what they want. When Shutakirti Prabhu would travel with Srila Prabhupada, not in every temple, but in some temples, Prabhupada would say, bring the Rajbhog. And Shutakirti Prabhu is saying that when Prabhupada was taking darshan, the deity would talk to him and say, they don't feed me well here. And then Prabhupada would taste and he would say, this dal tastes like a mud. And the puris are like a crackers. And this is not tasty. And why are you feeding the deity so badly? And he said, if you take care of the lordships nicely, they will take care of the entire temple. So Prabhupada already knew when he was taking a darshan that there are problems at the temple because the deities were not taken care of nicely. This entire temple is meant for you to assist to take care of the temple. Then all of your lives, everything would be connected to the source of happiness. That's it. Shutakirti Prabhu is saying, do you have questions?
Hare Krishna, and a very warm welcome to His Grace Shutakirti Prabhu that also joined us. Hari Bol. Was there a hand?
Thank you, Mother Vishakha, for the wonderful class. What I want to know, can you just advise what should the mood of the pujari be when worshipping deities? Like what did Srila Prabhupada advise the mood should be? What relationship should you develop with the Lord? Or in what mood, basically what should the mood be of the pujari when serving the Lord?
Well, the head pujari of Srila Prabhupada was Shutakirti Prabhu. His deity taught him how to serve. And I can only answer how I see Shutakirti Prabhu serving Srila Prabhupada and how Srila Prabhupada was accepting that. I can't say that I have that mood, but I can say that I have the example of that mood, and it's submission, acceptance of who the deities are, surrender, and acceptance that they are the ones telling us what to do, not we are deciding what they should be. We shouldn't come up with the whimsical ideas, I see Krishna in my dream like this, let me make him like that. We should only, in my understanding, the deity worshipping is just what Shutakirti Prabhu said, it's playing with the fire. If you are very careful with the fire, it will warm you, it will feed you, it will protect you, it will nourish you. But if you are careless, it will burn you. And that's the mood, to be very, very cautious. The cautious with the deities actually is helping us not to commit offenses. And the caution is when you actually know the formula of rules and regulations, and it's easy to follow. I'm telling you, I saw that in one temple in Europe. It's incredible. These people are so submerged into deity worshipping. Everything goes around the deities. Every single person. There is no, I'm a menial person. There is a very, very special mood. I'm a part of the whole machine. And if I'm not doing my service, it's my loss. So that mood should be there, that I depend on this service, not the service depends on me. And when you understand that gratitude, that feeling of gratitude, Krishna allowed me to be close to him, that mood will help you to stay in the track. Then the deities will accept you. And when the deities accept, as Krishna says, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Matam Smritir Jnana Papahonam Cha. He's going to give you understanding how to become close to him. That's it. Did it answer?
Hare Krishna. Can we worship a photo frame of Radha and Krishna?
I think so. Yeah?
Because you said we mustn't worship
No, Vigraha form.
Oh.
The deity, the Vigraha form.
Okay.
The photographs is different.
Okay.
The Vigraha form.
Okay.
And the best, if all of you, that's something that I can suggest, if at least once a month, once a week, all of you can come and assist the temple to take care of the deities. It's a very different feeling. Honestly, can I clean the floors today? Whoever is cleaning, but I'm going to do deep cleaning. If someone is not initiated, they can do a lot of gardening, they can do all kinds of things. That's a part of deity worship. I'll tell you this very interesting story. Aindra Prabhu, he used to clean the toilets in Brahmachari ashram. And because in India, you know, Indians don't like to clean the toilets. There should be a special person coming and cleaning the toilets. So he cleaned the toilet, and his deities came and say, thank you. So deities, they're alive. So even you worship them at home with the pictures, they're the same deities. So if you can, please come and assist them here. Having at home, definitely offering prasadam, offering flowers, offering everything, that's wonderful. Come and assist them here. Did that answer your question?
Hare Krishna, are there any other questions for Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Jai Mataji. Thank you for a wonderful class. On a more technical level, we're working within the deity ministry, and a lot of the pujaris are female and undergo a specific female cycle. So there's a lot of dependency at times where there aren't enough hands. So I have two questions in this regard. The one is, I know in some parts of the world, there's preference not to see the deities during that period. So I wanted to understand if that's, anything we should be aware of. And the second is, in the case where there aren't enough hands, for example, which could in some instances happen, do you have any guidance or experience that you could perhaps suggest in that case? And the reason I'm asking is because we don't want to cause offenses. And that's the main thing. And during that period, it is considered, we should be clean. So I just wanted to marry the two. Hare Krishna.
I can answer only from what I heard from Prabhupada disciple ladies. My dear mother Narayani, she was a head pujari in Calcutta temple, and she was the only pujari. Do you understand what I'm saying? Service did go on. And as I know that Prabhupada said to Mother Devi Shakti that 3 days, then you bathe, full bath, and you continue with your services. In emergencies, when there is no enough hands, Matajis just take bath and they continue the service. That's what I heard from Prabhupada disciples. That's the only thing that I can quote. A lot of people, like girls on Instagram, they ask me, there is nobody else at home, my deities are there, I have to feed them, what should I do? I said, take a bath, cook and feed them, because deity worshipping must go on. If it's possible that your deity can be taken care of by someone else, that's wonderful. I don't know, usually right now in our temples we have so many people that such emergencies like in the Calcutta temple was not there. You know, I'm sure there would be enough devotees assisting. But if there is like worse come to worse and nobody is there to take care of the deities and there is like one Mataji left behind to take care of deities, she just have to take care of the deities. That's what I know from Prabhupada disciples. I'm sure deity worshipping maybe have a different guidelines, maybe they know even more details. I can only quote Mother Narayani. And Shrutakirti Prabhu was there when during Prabhupada's time she was taking care of the deities. I think it was like 20 years she was their head pujari. Yeah, that's what I know. I cannot come up with any other answers. My main thing is that you will be clean. If you have to take care of the deities, full bath and take care of the deities.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
And I actually do think, honestly saying, since I live in India, that this couple of days in India, they turn into like you're becoming a chandala and like completely untouchable, like you're no longer a human, you shouldn't exist, you should like dig yourself in the ground, not show you. That's inhumane. I'm sorry. I will not agree with that. You're a Vaishnavi. Your body is a temple. And I don't know if in any other cultures in the world they have the same thing happening, but in India, when people ask me those questions on Instagram, I'm like, what, you're gonna turn into a zombie within those days? Like people are afraid of you? You go, I'm gonna contaminate the temple. I'm like, you go to bathroom every day, you're not contaminated? Okay? So what I heard in Vrindavan, you take a bath, you go to the temple, you just don't touch anything that is related to the deities. You chant your rounds, you read Prabhupada's books, you can do book distribution, you can chant Hare Krishna, you can be at the temple. It's not that something is so awful. But there could be people that they will say, oh no, you're saying it wrong. You are supposed to like disappear for days, not to be seen. I heard only what Prabhupada disciple ladies said to me and what they did during Prabhupada's times. So my Shastra is Prabhupada. What other people are saying, what other Sanghas are saying, it's not my guide.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for this beautiful talk, really appreciate it. This is something for myself. It's actually
Like this. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
This is nothing to do with the temple. What happened on Wednesday morning, it was raining, and I normally go into the garden and get flowers for my temple room, for my pictures, Lord's pictures. So the tree bears a lot of beautiful purple flowers. It's at the bottom of the driveway. And that morning it was raining quite heavy. So I ran down, broke these flowers in all stems, and they're very pretty actually. So I broke them in long stems like this. I purified them and I offered all these stems to the Lord, full of flowers on them, full, it's like quite a lot. And all the other pictures for the gurus and, And then I did my puja, I did my little offering for the Lord. And then I went off to work. I took the offerings out
said my prayer, did small arti, and I left to go to work in the morning. So in the afternoon, well, that day it wasn't a good day. I had a problem with my car, tire problem and all the stuff. In the afternoon, I decided, okay, today I'm going to make some biscuits to offer for tomorrow morning's offering. Then I took a shower. I went into my temple room to do my Gayatri and, put the Lord to rest and stuff in the afternoon. When I went into my temple room, all the flowers that are offered to Radha Krishna and Mahaprabhu, in those stems and those pretty flowers, there was nothing there. I looked carefully to see if it fell down, if it was sort of wilted, and stayed on the shelf. And the shelf is quite big. If it fell, it'll fall into the next shelf. But there was nothing. And then the only thing that remained there was the white jasmine. Because in between these flowers, the purple flowers, I said to myself, the white jasmine will look very pretty in between. Make it look pretty. Anyway, I got a terrible shock. I looked to see on the floor of the flowers were down. No, nothing. Gave me a terrible fright. So I don't know if Krishna and Radharani and Mahaprabhu don't want those flowers. So the next day, I never offered those flowers. So I just offered plain white jasmine. But all the gurus' pictures had the flowers, and my little Giriraj that was self-manifested, he had white jasmines by him, but I never put the purple flowers by him because they were big sort of stems and they were full of those flowers. So up till today, I haven't offered those flowers, but I look at them, they're very beautiful, they're very pretty. But they got no perfume on them. So that made me think, I said, maybe they don't like them because it's got no perfume. So
we should be offering scented flowers, right? I think that's one of the things in the deity worship, that we have to offer scented flowers to the deities. And we don't artificially scent them. Thankfully, Mother Bhumi gives us scented flowers. So maybe I'm not going to speculate. Jasmines are the authorized flowers. The purple flowers maybe didn't have fragrance.
No,
I cannot speculate on it.
But I did offer them last week, the whole of last week as well. But after Wednesday, I didn't offer them again. I felt, maybe they don't want it because it's got no perfume in it. Well, that just came to me, so.
I don't have experience with that. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just know that they have to offer.
It's worrying me. I'll be honest to you, it is worrying me. So I don't know whether to do it or not to do it, but the first thought that came to me was, I don't think I should offer it because there's no perfume.
Offer scented flowers and don't worry anymore. Just offer jasmines and don't worry anymore. Okay. Offer roses, offer whatever have the beautiful fragrance and don't worry anymore.
Don't worry. Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. My question is, we're going into Kartik next week. Can you give us some advice on how we can approach the month to increase our devotion, and some suggestions on what we can do to just make the experience better than it was previously for us in terms of our practices?
I used to be the Kartik and the Purushottama crazy. And then my husband broke that in me. Because I asked if Srila Prabhupada had any Purushottamas and Kartik specials. He said no. Because Kartiks and Purushottamas are meant for the karmis, but not for the devotees. It's like Prabhupada gave that example that Prabhupada or somebody, I can't remember, that the department store has a customers. And they always buy the goods, no matter what is the price. But then there is a special sale, like a Christmas sale. For us, it's that's a Kartik month or Purushottama sale. So the people are usually just buying only at that month and don't buy the rest of the year. So somehow I realized myself, I speak for myself, that month I'm like doing more things just so Krishna will kind of, give me blessings, more blessings, this thing in that give me blessings. So I will hog more blessings. Then Kartik Mankis is over and I'm back to my normal self. So I would say, in my opinion, the Kartik and Purushottam month should be approached that at this month, I'm gonna implement something in my life that after that month will continue the rest of the 11 months. That's me. Because as a Hare Krishna kid, you wait for Kartik month because you weren't doing much. And then you're like, okay, I'll offer this, I will fast, I will eat only 1 apple a day, and Krishna will bless me till the rest of the year. And then I can just do whatever I was doing. So that's something that I can see, and I can see how Shrutakirti Prabhu approached, and he's been through many Kartiks, and he was with Srila Prabhupada at the first Kartik festival, 1972, and there was no ghee lamp offering, there was nothing, and Prabhupada was reading Nectar of Devotion. So how about we start reading, if we really want to have a real Kartik, we look back at 1972, the first Kartik festival, and see what Prabhupada did and implement that in our life. How about you all start reading Nectar of Devotion and listening to those classes that Shrutakirti Prabhu was recording when Prabhupada spoke? In my opinion, nothing increases our devotion more than what Prabhupada did and told us to do. Because all of those things came up later. And I was the one who was like, oh yeah, okay, Bhishma Panchika, eating cow poo. I did that. I did. I didn't eat, I fasted, I was aggravated, I was angry. Oh, you know what? I've been fasting all my month. That didn't make me a good person. How about you eat nicely, you sleep nicely, you chant nicely. Maybe that month you will say, I'm going to chant my 16 rounds, hearing every word as Prabhupada say. I'm going to be more attentive in the deity worship. I'm actually going to volunteer myself to clean the jewelries. And then, they say if you want to get yourself a new habit, give it 21 days. Do it every day, no matter what. So it shouldn't be motivation. See, Kartik, it means motive. Mind. I set the goal, I'll do it, and after that, I get the goal, I'm done. It should be inspiration. Inspiration comes from the heart. I'm inspired. Dear Lord, I'm not going to give you a word, but I will be doing those things. Do you know how many times as a devotee kid I gave word, I'll be doing this, and Maya said, ha ha ha. And you get sick, and you have to eat this, and you cannot do this, and you promise that you'll be doing this. And you're just becoming motivated. And that's what makes you aggravated. But if you become inspired to do it, let me start reading Nectar of Devotion and studying them with Srila Prabhupada. Biggest thing is Krishna is very available at that time. More available, I would say. He's allowing you to become more attached to him. So that's something. I would say come and do more service. And continue after the end of the Kartik too. Let it become inspiration. May your goal be continuously being achieved. Okay?
Thank you so much for sharing. That was amazing.
We have one more question.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for a beautiful class. We're really enjoying all your wonderful teachings. If you can please give us the significance about Tulsi, doing Tulsi Puja daily or more often, like how we do at Mangal Aarti, because Tulsi Mata is very dear to Lord Krishna, and in her Aarti, it's often spoken about how merciful she is. So by doing that, will that possibly gain us more blessings and more mercy to be able to go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime, perhaps? Thank you.
My favorite part of the Tulsi prayer is Seva Adhikara Diya Koro Nija Dasi. You're asking for your Seva Adhikar, for your right to do service. Our full right, our birthright, right? The Adhikar means right. It's paying Krishna's servants. So Tulsi Maharani is the most chaste. She was always chaste to Krishna, right? And she's the Vrinda Devi. She's the one who is arranging all the services for Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world. She's a Bhakti Devi. We're hoping that instead of those thorn bushes in our heart, there would be Tulsi Maharani growing, right? Bhakti Lata, right? Bhakti Devi. Without her presence, Krishna wouldn't even accept our services, right? He doesn't sit down and eat without Tulsi Maharani. We chant on Tulsi, we wear the Tulsi, so everything is Tulsi, 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 Tulsi. The significance is when you associate with the pure devotee, that's association with the pure devotee, right? They say, tell me who is your friend, I'll tell you who you are. And her and Srila Prabhupada and Lord Nityananda are the most merciful. So when we worship Tulsi Maharani, we keep saying, please give us service, Seva Adhikar. Please give me my right. Allow me to serve. And hopefully that one day you will have that full desire to serve. Because your service is always waiting for you. She's waiting to give you that service. So hopefully by associating with her every day and praying to her, watering her, taking care of her, she's going to become very pleased with you. I'll tell you a nice story about Tulsi. We lived in Hawaii. And we were renting a house that devotee was renting previously. So we inherited her Tulsis. And in Hawaii, Tulsis grow wild. Nothing stops her from growing. And manjaris, I mean, you literally have to pluck manjaris every single day. If no, then the seeds are there, and then the wind from the ocean is there, and then he spreads her, and she grows from anywhere. She even grows from the barrel lava rock. And I tell you, I have pictures of that lava rock. It's just a real lava rock, thousands of year lava. She found a way to put herself there, and she grew out of there. Now, for me, I had that prayer. If you can grow in that dry lava rock, I hope my heart is at least as dry as this, so you can find a spot in my heart to grow in there. I hope my heart is even as dry as that thing, so you will find a mercy in you to grow in there. Because nothing else grows there. So imagine if you can pray for her to grow in your heart. Maybe one day, I'll find that picture and I'll post it again. So everyone who doesn't believe into a power of Tulsi Maharani, they can see her that way. Did it answer your question? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mataji. I think the mic was giving me a little bit of problems there, but I'm sure everybody heard me. So thank you, and we look forward to His Grace Shruti Kirti Prabhu's class tomorrow. I know for the Sunday Love Feast, Prabhu's giving class. So we look forward to having each and every one of you with us again tomorrow. And we are so fortunate and so honored that you all are here with us in South Africa, giving us so much of valuable lessons and so much to uplift us spiritually. So thank you once again to each and every one of you that have come through for the program. There is delicious prasad awaiting y'all at the prasad tent. So if y'all can kindly make your way down to the prasad tent, there are devotees that are waiting to serve y'all. And thank you to Mataji and Prabhu for being with us here in South Africa once again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.